Today's guest is Leila Ciancaglini, the visionary powerhouse of RLC Talent Agency. This is an important conversation for entertainers, aspiring entertainers, and people in particular who are in Los Angeles. Now, Leila herself has a background in business and fashion and modeling and talent agencies, and herself has been in various movies and TV shows, over 27 or so. She's put together over 45, closer to 50 productions in Los Angeles alone at some of LA's hottest venues, from Malibu to Hollywood to you name it. And all of this was done based off something that was needed to be done. You'll see throughout this conversation how often Leila just decided to go out and make it happen. And to make things more interesting, she wasn't even born in the US. She was from Argentina, moved out here, and through sheer hustle, grit, but most importantly, patience and clarity of vision, she's been able to create one of the most incredible rosters of talent and creating opportunities for all those talent beyond just the entertainment industry. I mean, when you really sit down and get to know her, and you would never know this because she's so busy at the productions if you've ever attended one of her events, but when you really sit down and get to know her, you begin to understand how it is someone like Leila, the character that she embodies, how that's been able to create the opportunities that she's now able to benefit from, but also how much she gives back to communities. It's truly a fascinating conversation, and one that I think you're going to want to listen to from start to finish. Just a trailblazer, truly. So without further ado, here is Leila Ciancaglini of RLC Talent Agency.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. No, and I was like, okay, where do we start a conversation that helps us understand where you are, who you are? And I said, okay, let's start with the agency, right? RLC Talent Agency. It used to be called Ragaza LC Models, correct?
Yeah, that's the legal name, Regaxels LC Models and Talents Inc.
Got it. And so then
That's
RLC Talent
the legal
Agency.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Now,
made it like R is for R, LC is Leila Ciancaglini, and Models and Talents. So people think it's RLC, but it's a corporation company.
got it. And that's what I was actually going to ask you too. So it's Ciancaglini, all one like that.
Yes,
I was going to ask you about the pronunciation of it because it sounds like it's
Ciancaglini.
Italian.
Italian.
Yeah. Okay. And are you of Italian origin?
Family,
Yeah.
Italian family.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
I'm born in Argentina.
That's why I was going to ask you. Okay, we're getting ahead. So I was going to ask you a question in a sec. So first, let's start where we wanted to, which is with the agency. Is it true, if I have here in my notes, it started with sponsorships from high-profile brands like Tecate and Budweiser for
Yeah,
events
that
like
was
football
my
games?
first client. Yeah, that was my first client when I opened the agency.
How did those major clients shape the early growth of your agency? I mean, that's amazing for a first
Um,
client.
I think that was when I started the agency. One of my friends, he works for Tecate Beer and the distribution, and I did. It comes the idea after 3 months I moved to LA to put the agency. So I asked him, hey, I just opened my agency. Can you get me a meeting with the distribution, the beer company? He said, yeah, sure. So he get me the meeting and I went and it was the Tecate Beer principal, but it was Corona Beer, Budweiser. And when I went to the meeting, they say, yes, actually it's funny because it was for um, September 16th for the Independent Day for the Mexicans. So that was my first event. So it was really cool because they said, okay, we're going to get you 16 model for September 16. We're going to have all the models on the limo. And I only had 10 models. I'm like, okay, fine. So I find the models and they love my work and they love my models because I was having all these different exotic looks because I was trying to make it like mix Latinas with Caucasians, but the exotic looks from different countries. Because I noticed in US they didn't have that, you know. So I said I'm going to be success for having girls from all over the world. Nobody knows where they're from, but we can use it for everything. And that's what I did. And they love it. From there, they give me the account and with the cat and with Weiser. And until Kobe, we worked for a long time. That's how I get into the boxing and all these different big events because these companies sponsor all the biggest events all United States. So I was lucky enough to my business grow up super fast in such a short time.
Yeah, that's a powerful story. And what's interesting about that is that you had a vision when you went into that meeting for how they were going to win too. It wasn't just please help me start my business. Where does that come from for you? How did you develop that sense of marketing, branding, vision, and being able to get that kind of promotion out?
I study business. When you study business, I think your mind is already set up to. And my mom always was like, all my family like in business and oriental. But I think as when you're younger, you just go for it. But can you go back home and live with your parents? That was my thing. Okay, if it doesn't work, okay, I go back home. It worked out great. So I mean, before that, I used to come in United States in the English class. And I remember I saying one of my friends, just my friend Wendy, and I stay in her house. She's Mexican, and she was like, "Leila, it's not easy, US." I'm like, "Okay," but when I moved, I guess life was wonderful to me, and yeah, and it's, one thing takes me to the next one. Like I when I start with a big company, and then I work with Univision, and then I go with the Channel 62. I worked for years. Actually, I was actress for them too. One thing to the next one, to the next one. I go to convention centers. And I give my business card to conventions, and I say, "Oh, I know how to get more business." So I will grab thousands of business cards and make marketing myself. And that's how I grow my business today through conventions. The best marketing place you can ever do is convention center.
Wow. So I think it's amazing that you have family that are entrepreneurs, right? That comes from a long line of that, of entrepreneurs in your family. You studied business yourself. And most importantly, you had the hustle and the grit. When your friend tried to tell you it was difficult, you said, we'll see. And you didn't let somebody else tell you what life was going to be like. I think that's an important quality that sets you apart. Already, I can see how the story is taking shape. And now I'm curious, coming from Argentina, how did that cultural background sort of influence your approach to building the agency? You mentioned making things global. You don't know where these models are from. That is super interesting viewpoint. I didn't know that modeling before was more like separated and you knew exactly where people were from and that's how it was. Was it you early on that was making that change, like in the Los Angeles scene in particular, or how did this
I
come
think
about?
so. Yeah, because I feel like in LA before, not now, but it was, more like a only Caucasians agencies or more like not Caucasian, more like Americans agencies. And there was not many internationals, but not because nothing wrong or discrimination, it's just it was your own country. So
Right.
I feel like I start collecting girls from different countries and I give visas. I still give a lot of visas to a lot of people. So to help girls to do the right thing with the right career. But I was thinking that was exciting to have girls. I think in Argentina that's what it is. You have mixes, like Germans mixed with Italians, Spain mixed with the Germans. So you don't know what the people's from. So the mix make it exotic. So I was thinking that will be cool in LA, have exotic looks. So I can hire somebody and then nobody knows where they're from, but they just like it. So because beautiful girls, they can be playing either Spanish or American or whatever. It works really good. So then I can give more work to everybody, because it feels good when you can give work to the people.
I mean, again, more amazing qualities. Number one, you make a valid point. There are beautiful people everywhere in the world, not just one place in the world. And I like that you said it's not that there was discrimination; it just nobody was doing it, so I did it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you add to that the fact that you're also helping empower people with visas and giving them guidance. I mean, it's amazing. You are entrepreneurial. You also are a model mentor in that way, where you're helping people understand how to make their path in the world. Those are all super important qualities, and I want to get into it with. what I have here in my notes is that you've been running the agency now for 22 years, which you would never know from how amazing you look. And I want to know, what do you think sets your agency apart that gets you those opportunities with like Univision, Telemundo, and Fox TV? Is it how you see the world so expansively and how you can connect so many things that others just aren't doing?
Well, in the beginning, I didn't know it was going to be like that. I just go forward, you know. Looking now, I'm like, wow, I've done so many things, and it's yeah. I know. I didn't have a plan. I just go forward. When you're young, you you just excited. You do things, you know, and nothing can stop you, right? But I don't know. Even today in my fashion shows, I have all mixed culture. I don't want to have or Latin events or white people or Afro American. I want to have all ethnicities, and I invite every single ethnicity from Persian, Israel, from Egypt, every culture you can imagine. So I love that because people feels welcoming. It feels like, and they're all making friends with each other. You know, I have so many people that can be friends. It makes me so happy that I can, make a community where people is like to come to my shows and feel happy about it.
It is the realest thing. I was just at the Rafi Lounge event that you put together, and it was everyone from all walks of life, poor, rich, whatever. I mean, everyone was invited.
Celebrities.
You and the community. There were familiar faces. It's just amazing what you've been able to do, and you just said, I just did it. But the thing is, so many people are always waiting for permission, for permission to be who they are, permission to try their ideas out. Where does it come from for you? Is it because your family is entrepreneurial and you just thought, well, if you want to make something happen, you got to do it yourself? Or what gives you that quality?
I don't know. I think I believe to be created. When you are created, you open the doors for yourself and for others. And to believe in yourself and see what you're good about it. I think everything starts from us. And when you're looking inside in the mirror and you see, okay, what I'm good about it, what I can do, and you value yourself, you can really do so many things. I feel life is precious. I'm very grateful to God. Every day they can wake up, they can breathe, they can walk, they can be me. And I think being grateful is number one. Being creative is number two because you can open opportunities for yourself and for others. And be happy. Oh my gosh, be happy is so important. Be loving, be happy, help others. I mean, and yeah, maybe life, the universe, God, whatever you want to say, it put you a challenge, but you have to look in that challenge to get back, not to be a victim. If you're looking at such to be a victim, you're going to be a victim. But if you say, you know what, why God gave me this challenge? Okay, let's find out what, and you fight for, and you continue going, no matter what, you continue with your goals or whatever is in the moment. So I believe in every person. I believe every person in this world is a star. Someone shines more than others.
I love that. Thank you for sharing your mindset behind that. You didn't have to, but you did. And it's funny. Sometimes people will look at that, especially people who are feeling, maybe they're watching this and they're sad right now, right? They're a little depressed right now and they're watching this and they'll say something like, yeah, well, it's easy for you if you're beautiful or this or that. But they didn't pay attention. You have a mindset, you have gratitude, you're creative. You take a look in the mirror and you say, okay, why would I have this talent? Why would God, the universe, why would they give this to me? And you're inquisitive. You're asking questions of yourself. You're curious, but more important, you stay focused and you don't let negativity enter. And so for someone who's sad right now, if they were watching this and they're saying, yeah, but it's easy for you or this, that, what would you say to them?
I would say to people, don't ever watch around. Just pay attention to yourself because I think the mistake that a lot of people is watching what others does and not valuing yourself. And I think if you see the other person have, it's always going to be somebody that have more money or somebody have better things than you. It's always. always. So doesn't matter. You come here for a mission. You come here to learn. You come here to fight for your life and improve yourself. How do you? So I think we all have something to offer. Maybe I'm good in art. Maybe I'm good in sport. Maybe I'm good in business. Everybody is good in something. It doesn't matter who you are, what do you do. We all have something good to offer on the table. So I think it's never get depressed. It's no time for get depressed for me. Be happy.
I love that. If you're
So,
depressed, you're behind schedule. Come on.
yeah. I never drink. I never did drugs. I never done anything. I just believe in myself. Even sometimes it's moments are like, oh my gosh, can be money problems. It can be, so I don't know, boyfriend's mom. It can be any time, but you just have to go forward. It's going to be okay.
I love that. And thank you. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. And often the most effective path forward is simple. Just keep moving, right? I love that.
Keep going. Do it
Yeah.
now. One of my
Yeah.
friends is a
Yeah.
seminar. He's always say, do it now. He may give me the book. His name is Daniel. He give me the book in a cup, right? They say, do it now. And every time I say, I'll do it later, I'm like, no, do it now. And he actually brings something in my mind. There's always, don't leave it for tomorrow. Do it now,
Do it now.
And that's such a good advice for somebody, Don't leave things for tomorrow.
Brilliant. Now, one thing I'm curious about is I have notes here that you've worked with a whole roster of celebrities, from Eric Roberts to Bad Bunny. Can you share a story maybe that stands out to you that just sort of shows how much your agency is impacting community building, how you're connecting these bridges? Any story that stands out to you where you're like, wow, I've met and worked with this person, and here I'm doing this, that stands out for you?
Yeah, so working with celebrities is because an agency, so directors and producers looking for specific roles with specific looks or personalities. So then they ask me, hey, who you have access? So then I give a whole list of celebrities who I have access, and they hire me if they go with what they're looking for, right? So that's give you a lot of, I don't know, open up relationships that you can have with celebrities. And also working myself in movies, it gives me opportunity. And I have a show for, I don't know, more than 10 years, Hollywood Life, where I interview tons of celebrities. So everything comes together, my agency, my TV show, working in movies, and relationship, building relationship constantly with people. And it's beautiful. I mean, I was lucky that Eric Roberts' manager, Scott, he is my manager for movies. So he is wonderful. And I book him, they book me. So it's good. We're all working each other's and and yeah, and it's wonderful. I mean, people who are wonderful people is great to work with.
Yeah, no, and what I love about what you're saying is it's important for people to understand, someone who looks from the outside in and doesn't get to know you, they might be like, wow, Layla is everywhere doing a million different things. But what I noticed is all the things you're doing are connected, right? They're vertically integrated. They're all kind of in the same industry in a way where they can work together. And that's why you can have these relationships feel so strong. And that's something that I'm learning as I'm listening to you. You go, yeah, I might be doing this, this, and this, and this, but they all actually go together. And was that on purpose, or again, you were just doing your thing, just every day?
No, everything happens natural. I don't do nothing on purpose. I'm not the type of person that I look out for things or I just let life come back to me.
Yeah. Okay. No.
I
And
think that's the best result when things happens.
yes, yes. What's good for me, let it happen. If it's good for me, I welcome it. Right. I have
Yeah,
that every time I go out and I go out in public. I always say, please bring only what is good for me to be a part of.
yeah,
And I try to keep that same energy. So I really I can appreciate the sentiment. You mentioned you're
yeah.
in
Doing
movies.
meditation.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but You mentioned you're in movies as well. I did not know you were doing acting. I think I saw it.
Yeah,
So,
I work in,
wow.
I started in theater in life. That's how I get my acting skills. And I work in so many movies. And I love it. Being in front of the cameras for me is so exciting. I always done comedy in Spanish and English both. So yeah, the last one is already um, Paul Rodriguez as one. He's so funny. It's about, but yeah, I constantly always working in movies and films. It's so much fun. I'm doing theater soon. I'm writing the script right now. So soon I'm excited to invite
You're
people
gonna
to the theater.
you're making a
Put
play?
it together. Put it together. Yes.
Wow. That is a lot of work to put a play together. That's
That is a
amazing.
lot of work.
Yeah, I don't think people understand how big, like the scale of a production for theater is.
Yeah. But I think people need it in LA. They need to have things in life.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
we're all into the computers and we're not
Thank you.
we're not and human beings start getting more separate every day. So I think in my events I love with the fashion shows, but I think with the theater is going to be fun, especially in LA. There's not much theater. It's more in New York. And I
Yeah.
love always love theater, so we'll see how people react. And the reason why I do it is to give opportunity also to my talents to give more work. Because there's not that much work like I used to be, right?
Yeah.
Commercial is not that much anymore. Everything is a little bit more disappeared. So hopefully I can bring more work to my talents. And if
I
you only create business, you have to create business.
I was just gonna say the running theme in our conversation, and it's so powerful, is every time you see something and you're like, "There's not enough," you go, "I'm just gonna make more." You're just that is a boss. That is an entrepreneur. You are just going to create because if it doesn't exist, then someone has to create it, and
Yeah.
it's fascinating. Now, what's interesting is you've been able to, and I think this is important, you have a respect for the idea of business and for making things make sense. You wouldn't be able to be as successful as you are if you didn't have a healthy respect for business. What's something that stands out? Because I know a lot of creative people who have great ideas, but they can never create things. And so I think it's important now that we know that's a superpower of yours. What are the things you consider when you say, okay, I want to create this? Because you have the roster of your talent, you have relationships, yes, right? But I believe that even if you didn't have all that, you would still be able to build it because of who you are. So what are the things that you pay attention to and think about when you're going to go and create something like a play production and that whole community and all that?
I think once I do meditation, that helps a lot. I do meditation because you calm down yourself and open up to being creative. But I think I don't know. I always had that. Like even when somebody tell me, "Hey, I don't know what to do in my life," and I'm like, "What are you good about it?" And this and that. Okay, this is what you can do. And like about one of my friends, he's always connecting people. I said, why are you not a PR? You should be a PR. Oh, that's a good idea. And then give the tools what to do. So I think I'm really fast to see what you can do. But the most important part is do it. So you always get your book, write everything what you need to get that, and then you put it together. It's kind of like when you're cooking, right? I always say this. When you want to cook, no sé, empanadas, right?
Yeah.
Or pasta. Okay, what do you need? What ingredients you need? You need tomato sauce, you need the pasta, you need milk, you need cheese, right? So you put it all together. So then you're okay, now is the time to put it together. Same thing as in business. Okay, what do you need for do, I don't know, taxi business or do whatever. Okay, I need a car, I need this. It's the same thing. So when you understand that anything in life, you this loss and you put it everything what you need, then you put it together, right? Then you give your time for it. So I think that's how I can be so creative because I always thinking, okay, if I want this, what I need for that. If I don't know, I go to Google and I find out.
Right, right. No, I love that. Business can be looked at like cooking or recipe. You need the ingredients And if you don't have them, go get them, right? Then you need to give it the time to cook or bake, right? And
Yeah.
all of those, it's a perfect parallel. Thank you for that. That's important. And like you said, and if you really don't know, go look and learn and find out what you don't know. But the point is step by step by step. But most importantly, when you started that answer, you said, I clear my mind. I calm down. I prepare for what I want to do. Powerful, powerful stuff. There's so many directions I can take this conversation in because of how expansive your career is. I mean, you've produced over 45 fashion shows, right, in LA alone. I think even more than that, to be honest with you.
Right. I think I'm more than that. Yeah. I started exactly, it's going to be 2 years, July 3rd, because the first fashion show I did last year, July 3rd. So yeah, 2 years. It's amazing. It's crazy.
It's
No,
incredible.
2 years ago. Sorry. Yes.
And what would you say, like, if you were to be able to talk to the Leila who started when she didn't have not even one show, and the Leila you are now with over almost probably 50 plus shows and what have you, what would you say is the most important thing you learned about actually putting together a community like that and making sure things go smooth? Because things always go wrong. I can't even imagine how many phone calls right before everything is about to start that they go, we don't have this,
Crazy.
we don't have that. And you're like, "Ugh, okay." So what's the
Especially I do
most
everything in my own. Yeah.
really? So
Yeah.
what would you say is the most important thing you've learned about creating a production like this?
Well, I think, well, first of all, I used to do the productions for clients, so I have a high-end clients. So I'm a planner. So I know how to do everything behind the scenes, with productions. That's a good thing about it. I already had experience. So I just put it together. That's what I did.
I
And
see.
the only person that helps me with the models behind the scenes and helps me to find vendors like super is Juan. He's my friend, he's my PR, and he is amazing. Like he's my other hand. I say left hand because I'm not, but he is like everything. He's such a good friend. But I do everything in my own. Absolutely everything in my own. And I have such a good support from my models, from my designers, from the vendors, and from my guests as they come and see me. So I will say I'm really excited and surprised how far I went with this because I was honestly start to see what's going on. The next one, the next one, the next one. I'm like, gosh, this is coming to be a thing now. Because I was trying to see, I was actually doing it for fun. And they're like, okay, this is something super cool and people loving it. And then now I'm in Buenos Aires. And now it's just exciting.
I'm telling you, there's just something so powerful about this story that's taking place in our conversation here, because there are a lot of people in LA, right, who come here and they want to make it and this and that. But you yourself, you could have just gone to be a star just by yourself. You have all the skills necessary, all the relationships. You could just go be a star, and that's it. You don't have to think about others. You don't have to think about putting events together or bringing people together. But you did, right? And a lot of people who come to LA, they're like, oh, there's no opportunities. There's no, just negative, 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 no faith. No, you got to stay blessed, right? You got to stay focused. You got to stay positive. And you decided, I'm going to build it. I'm going to go get what I want, but I'm also going to help others get what they want. And I think it's so important. So if you had to give advice to any aspiring model, actor, entertainer who's trying to break into the LA scene, they want to go into great events like your event, what would you say to them if they're listening right now?
Um, I just say, first of all, don't be negative. Everything what you say, you have to check yourself, and anything that's negative, take it off when you talk. Because we're powerful when we talk, right? Um, and 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 be around people who believe in you and who's positive too. Because sometimes with the person is around you and it's negative, it congesting, right? Like if somebody doesn't believe in you, you also start thinking, oh, maybe I'm not good at it. Then but I don't know if it ever happens to you, but maybe you have idea of the business and you go to tell your best friend or your brother, hey, I have this a good idea. No, that's not going to work. And you're like, and you don't do it. But if you have an idea, you just doing your own. then you prove everybody, look at what I did. You know, I think be around who is cheers you up and who is positive and not the people is negative, because I think that is a big influence the bad energy. Don't let anything stop you up what you think. And if you have no idea, start looking yourself. Go back when you're little. What do you like to do? Because you have to do what you love to do. If you work for somebody that you don't like, if you do something you don't like, you're going to be miserable all your life. And we only live once. You don't know what happens in your life. So yeah, I think people should look in the mirror and don't listen to others. Look at yourself. And
No,
I don't know if I
it,
answered your question.
it's great though. It's great what you're saying because again, a lot of people will assume like it's got to be complicated. No, it's not that complicated. Be optimistic, be focused, believe it's possible, do the work that's necessary and just keep it moving. There's another
Mhm.
interesting quality about you that I think is super important that I believe has contributed to your success. And this is just as an outsider looking in, right? And I think it's how you value relationships and how you value yourself. Those are two things that I've heard keep coming up when we're talking here. And so I want to ask you about that. But first, let's start with how you view relationships. It's LA. The amount it's
Relationships,
yeah,
what?
like friends, colleagues, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So in LA, it's very common for people to go, yeah, 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 I'll be there. They don't show up, or last minute they cancel, right? Or even worse, I'm guilty of this. I will be so busy that I'd never make time to check in on my friends. I'm curious, how do you manage that? Because you know a lot of people, you have a lot of relationships. Is it because your work is so intertwined with your relationships that you get to stay connected with everyone? Or how do you view
Mm.
that staying connected to the people that you care about?
Well, I think that different things like your friends, you build relationship with your friends with the time. So you will know who's flake, who's not. You will know who is that you can trust or not. So that's in one hand. So you build relationships as the friends in one hand. The rest of people who's not your close friends, you just have to take it the way it is. So if it's someone told you I want to come to the event and you invited one, two, three, four, you already know you're not expecting nothing from that person because it's not commitment. But it's okay. That's the way they are. Do not worry because maybe you don't want to connect with that type of person anyways. So why you force something that's not for you? So the other people who is there for you, always come for you, they always respond, they always trying to be there for you. That's the ones you have to value. That's the ones you have to open the doors. That's the one you have to say, hey, thank you so much. That's the people you have to watch and be open and grateful for. The ones that are not, it's okay. You just let it go. Do not worry about it. It's not for you. Actually, you have to say thank you because instead of you having a fake relationship, you have a real relationship with the people who cares about you. So whatever is not for you, let it go. Do not pressure. And I think I learned more this in relationships with like couples that I was like, why he doesn't like me? Or why he doesn't want to be with me? Like, you're like possessive, like why? But you have to understand whatever is not for you, let it go. Let it be. You know?
I love
And
that.
make good friends.
No, you're right. Yet again, simple but powerful. And again, it's this thing you talk about where you let life happen. You don't force it. There's a very centeredness, and I think because from the meditation, it kind of shows how much it's done for you and your core. And so now the other half of the question that I had asked is, how do you keep a high self-esteem, a high value of yourself? Is this something that just happens naturally, or you work on it?
Um, I don't know. I really asked about that myself. I was a happy person, so happiness is always help you a lot because you're happy with yourself. And I always did whatever I wanted to do because I just go for a while. So that's made me happy. So I guess it makes me feel all the decisions I take, I don't regret it because is that's what I want to do, right? Um, if I was forcing, maybe I will be regretted and maybe I will be unhappy. But in the moment that I do everything I want, and if I'm failed, it's okay. I do something else. But I at least I did what I wanted. I cannot point anybody it's because of yours because I did. And if I did something wrong, I have to be responsible. And like I said, we cannot cry. We have to say, okay, well, that's my lesson. Next time I will not do it. Or I will take better decision. And I think through meditation, because I'm being meditate from after COVID, from a COVID time, I learned to um, breathe and take my time to see what's going on around and not get so fast and frustrated, you know. Because before I was more like a crybaby, like, why can't you do it to me? But now I'm like, okay, I didn't do that to me because I need to learn something from this. You know, if somebody stole a client or the model didn't show up on time, whatever it is, I need to learn from something from there. And it happens again. Okay, you know, paying attention. So I learned to pay attention, to listen and see my signs. Check the signs. It's so important. You
Really
know, your
fascinating.
intuition, right? Your intuition.
Yeah.
Something told you no, don't do it.
I love that. There's two parts that really stood out to me. Number one is this idea that I think the value, the self value, aside from the fact that you're just a happy person, you know you can learn. You trust in your ability to become better constantly. You don't believe there's a limit on your own ability to improve. And because of that, when something bad happens, you're like, okay, I'm going to learn from this and I'll be better for next time because you believe you're optimistic enough that there will be a next time. And I think that's such an important quality to your character, to who you are as an individual, you know? And then there's the other thing that you said about, look, I only do the choices that I wanted to make. If I had to force a choice, well, then yeah, I might regret things. But it's important. You said, I know I chose this. So if it doesn't go wrong, well, hey, it's what I wanted. You know, I got what I wanted. It didn't work out. It's okay because I can learn. And those two things I think are super valuable, important. You know, we're having this conversation. You're an entertainment entrepreneur in the truest sense in LA. Like you're doing it for real. It's happening in LA. I've been to your events. You have the pedigree, the experience, right? And most people who are going to hear that conversation is possible. They're going to say, "Oh, is she going to give us the secrets?" And they're going to be like, "Oh, they didn't say who their contact was. They didn't say who they're." No, they're missing the point. The reason why I love this conversation is because I'm understanding the person that made it possible for these relationships, these communities, these events, for all of this to become possible. But it's because of the person that you are. And that's why it was my goal in this conversation to be able to share that because so many people think that it has to do with what's outside. But if they don't understand when they listen to this conversation, it's important for them to walk away and know it's because of who you are inside that these things will become possible. Because I mean, you came from Argentina, you know, and you came to LA and you saw that your friends didn't have enough acting jobs or modeling jobs. And you said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to build a play. I'm going to build fashion events and I'm going to go and I'm going to strike business opportunities with major brands. Why? Because I know that I can put them in touch with beautiful people and not just beautiful people from one part of the world, but from the entire globe. We can make it global. We can make it beautiful. We can make it positive. It's an incredible conversation that we're having. But that's why I had to know who is Layla? What is she
Okay.
doing when she's thinking, when she's operating? Because, you know, at events, you have a lot on your plate. So it's just in passing that we get to chat. You know, you've got, and everyone wants to talk to you because, you know, that's, you're the one doing the show, you know, and so you make time for everyone. I've never been once in your event where I didn't get at least a hello from you. And that also means something to me, you know? And I think that's an important quality that I want everyone I want to be an actor, I want to be an entertainer, I want to be a model who's listening to this conversation to understand exactly the kind of character you had. And, you know, we've been talking now for some time now. I want to ask you, is there anything that you're working on right now, maybe outside of the play that you talked about, that you want people who are listening to know that you're promoting another event coming up or something?
I opened modeling school to training young girls to be a model. So yeah, I wanna girls to subscribe in my classes. So I'm trying to do summer classes for young girls, like teenagers here in Calabasas. So that's what I want to do. I want to have more people subscribe and make classes. I'm trying to find time for everything, but sometimes I don't have enough time.
Yeah, I
For
mean,
be
you can only do so many things.
for be honest, yeah, yes, I even now I was trying to tan a little bit because I look so pale. I'm like, I need to get
No, are you kidding me?
some tan. I'm
No,
trying to
if
get in the pool and get some tan.
I mean, that's the next question. Where do you find the time? Because a lot of people will say they're so busy and they don't have enough time to look great. But one thing you always do is you look great. Is this something that you take the time to make it happen in the day, or even on the day where you have the least amount of time? What is a minimum requirement of self-care for you?
I mean, I do go and do like exercise. I do a yoga and I walk the dog every day. I think that walking the dog 2, 3 times a day or more, 6 times a day. That dog when I go out all
Powerful
the time.
exercise.
Oh, yeah. That's my time when I go and walk the dog in the morning, in the afternoon, the daytime. That's nighttime, it's my exercise and do yoga like that. Yeah, exercise is my only time. But I don't really do much on myself. I used to travel 24/7. I used to be always on the plane. But these past 2 years, I think it's been dedication with all this. I have not time much. But I'm here I am. Hopefully I can train a little bit now so I can look better for my next show.
There you go. Yeah, and you have a show coming up, right? I think I saw you talk about
July
it as well.
July 13 and Tia and the French restaurant. We want to kind of like 14th back in the time and Nikki Beach, where everybody, Sunday afternoon, everybody's dancing, popping up, drinking, having a good time, fashion show. We want to do that in the Sunday afternoons. I mean, like brunch time. So that's what our next one it is. I always want to give experience to people when they comes to my shows. That's my always purpose. Whatever we doing is I want people to have experience because that's what it's all about it. Have an experience. It's not about
Yeah.
how much money it's about experience.
I love it. No, it's true. Every show I've been to has been a different theme, a different experience. And it's amazing. I'm only realizing this now, but one of the beauties to fashion, as we're talking, that I'm realizing is that it takes you to a place and a time in society. And it's different. And you get to be re-experience it through the power of fashion. They say the clothes doesn't make the person, but sometimes it helps the person make an occasion, right? And I think this is something I learned from just now, just by talking to you and realizing, wait a minute, yeah, that's the power of fashion, is how where it takes you, at what point in time, not just what places, but what time. And it's just incredible. I've just gained a huge appreciation for fashion. I didn't anticipate. I'm a little slow sometimes, I'm
So
in my
yeah,
head a lot.
sometimes we don't pay attention, but this year I didn't repeat no one location yet. Every time I start with if I did it in Cielo Farm. There is Cielo Farm. I did it in Santa Anita, the horse races.
Right.
Did it in Tia. I did it in Kookaburra, um, Raffy Lounge. So yeah, I've been doing it every time in different locations, and I didn't repeat it yet. I just want to repeat it now again.
Yeah.
I'm going to start backwards again. So now I'm going to start with Tia, and I'm going to do in TikTok
Ah.
store, and I'm going to go back. Yeah, we also will be in TikTok store. That's really exciting for me. We're working on it. I'm so excited about that store.
You're doing a TikTok store? Did I understand you correctly?
And the
Really?
one yeah, it's coming out. Yeah, I'm so excited about that.
Wow.
That's going to
Okay.
be something different.
Yeah. Yeah, no, look, Leila, I want to make sure that I'm respectful of your time here because I have many more questions, but the truth is, I know we only had a certain amount of time, and I know you have things to
Yeah.
do. So I want to give you the chance to tell people where they can connect with you, what social media channel or
Yeah.
website you want them to go to.
So my website is rlctalentagency.com, and you can find my magazine there. There's RLC Talent Magazine. So it's inside my website, besides the models. And then my Instagram is Leila Ciancaglini TV, Leila Live TV Show, RLC Talent Agency, a lot of RLC magazine. And if you go to my main Instagram, you find all my other Instagrams. So, but yeah, I always need new models, new actors, everybody, anybody comes to my agency. I always use it for all different things, for movies, TV series. So everybody's always welcoming because every person has something special to offer. So I never say no to anybody. I always say everybody, yes, come and subscribe my agency. Not a problem.
Yeah, and if you're looking to do modeling school, like you said, you're launching a modeling school as well for young models. Incredible. I don't know where you find the time or the energy. I think I understand a little bit from our conversation, but Leila, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the
Thank you.
show. I can't thank you enough.